My name is Jasmine. I'm located out in the beautiful north shore of the island of Oahu in the state of Hawaii in an area called Waialua. It's very country over here, lots of beaches. Beautiful place to come and visit if you ever do get a chance. I am a UGC creator and also a teacher. I teach advanced placement psychology and piano here at my local high school. So that's my full-time thing. And I do UGC on the side and hoping maybe one day it'll be a full-time thing. We'll see what happens.
How did you get into UGC and what are the platforms that you're creating on?
My journey started out actually as an affiliate marketer. I was doing that first. And as an affiliate marketer, you're everything. You're the social media manager, you're doing your ads, you're doing your videos for your ads. As that was going out, I was noticing some comments on some of the videos that I were doing, and people started reaching out to me saying, hey, this is my brand. Would you mind doing a UGC for me? And so I started doing a bunch of those. And I thought, hey, wow, like you could actually go full time doing this. 1 month I made more than I do at my regular job, which was like mind blowing to me. I thought, wow, I just wanted to do this as like a side hustle. I never thought of it as a full-time career. That's how I actually got my start. I was an affiliate marketer and then I started doing UGC, and then people also noticed that I could do social media management. So it all tied into one. Social media management and UGC creation kind of went hand in hand. There were a lot of brands looking for both. That's why some that just only wanted UGC creation, some that wanted both. So it just made sense to do both. Now I still do my affiliate marketing, but I also do UGC and social media management.
Wow, you're making me feel like a slouch. You're doing your full-time job and you're doing all this other stuff. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to me about your content or what's your process like? What tools are you using?
For my affiliate marketing business and even for my social media management business, I use a tool called Builderall. It's kind of an all-in-one platform. A lot of people do prefer ClickFunnels, but as part of my packaging for social media management, I also help do email marketing lists. I build web pages and then sales funnels. I also do automated social media posts. I post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok. Yeah, you name it. I pretty much post there. The only one I don't use is Snapchat. But other than that, I'm everywhere. I like the Builderall tool because it can manage everything all in one. At first, I was using all these separate tools and I got smarter and condensed into one. So I use Builderall. And then I also use the app called Later because I still have some of my social media management clients on that when before I made the transfer to Builderall. I just haven't had the time to compile them all into one yet, but that's something I'm working on. I love, love, love CapCut. Almost every UGC creator loves CapCut because it's just so easy, user friendly. I am tech savvy, but if you're not a tech savvy person, it's just so easy to use. Anybody can use it. If you can make TikTok videos and IG Reels, then you can use CapCut for sure. I love it. Another platform, I am on Discord too. One of my social media management clients have me as a community manager on Discord, so I'm there as well. When I do my UGC content creation and I'm working with brands, I like to use a software. It's called Monday. And with Monday, you're able to create your first draft and then they can say anything that they want to maybe change, edit, have you do any comments at all that they would like from the first draft. And you can go back, post your second draft. And if they like your second draft, usually by the second draft, they're all hands done. Okay, you're good. The comments section says, okay, this is good. But there are those brands that are very meticulous and you try as a UGC creator to create your best. And I write all my content. I don't read off the scripts that the brands usually provide because it needs to be authentic and real. And a lot of times it doesn't sound like me. So I end up most of the times rewriting everything. I would say about like 85% of the time, the brand knows that I write my own content. So I get paid more for that because I do write my own content. I do my own market research. I go as far as looking into spy tools like PyPy ads, and I go into like Facebook ads and look at that too. So I can see what's working right now. And that way I can draw inspiration from there when I'm starting to create my ads and create the copy for the UGC ad that I'm going to do, or even if it's not an ad and it's just organic content.
You do a lot of research and you do a lot more than I think a lot of UGC creators do as far as creating content for brands. That's amazing. You're doing a lot more than me for my own. I'm learning a lot of things here from you today. That's awesome. So you're using Builderall and Later and Monday.com. And those are some popular ones that I've heard. And that's interesting that you're using those. Tell me more about your process of finding those businesses to work with. You said back when you first started, you were kind of doing it yourself and people were reaching out to you. Is that still the case now? Is it repeat business? Tell me how you're finding business now.
At first, first, I wasn't even looking to be a UGC creator. I just was automatically doing it for my own affiliate ads. And then people started reaching out to me, mostly through TikTok, a few through Instagram, but a majority of it was through TikTok because this was back in before Reels started, actually. So that's how I found my first clientele. And then after that, I started realizing, hey, this is a real cash flow opportunity to make some pretty good deals here. So then I started actually doing some research. And I have a master's degree in education. I love researching. I'm an analysis researcher geek. I admit it. I geek out, especially on ads. I have an obsession for marketing and ads, and yeah, I geek out on ads. So I started researching, I backwards mapped it. I started researching brands that were putting out a lot of money for ads because I thought, okay, if they're putting in a lot of ad spend here, that means they've got a budget for creators. And I started reaching out to some of these brands. It was mostly using the PyPy ad software tool because I was looking at TikTok at the time before Facebook and Instagram really started blowing up with their UGC creators creating content, and YouTube as well too. I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel too. But that's more geared towards affiliate marketing. Anyway, sticking to the UGC thing, I started reaching out to these brands and I started pitching to them, letting them know that, hey, I do have a master's degree in education. I'm an educator by trade. This is how I go about my process of UGC creation. I do my market research. I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G to Z. Before I even start sitting down and writing, I get to know my audience or the target audience for the brand really well, their demographics, their age, their likes, their dislikes, what kind of reviews did they write on similar products in that particular niche. I really get to pinpoint my customer avatars of the brand. And then that's when I really start to sit down and write the copy. And I think about what images are going to be good with what hooks. When I pitch to brands, of course, I like to try to pitch out deals that are monthly retainers, but that's not always the case. For those that I do, I try to do set packages for them. My smallest packages, I have 3 hooks with 1 body and 3 CTAs, calls to action, if those of you don't know what a CTA is. So that way the brands can chop up the videos and mix the hooks with some of the CTAs. It's up to them. Some of the smaller companies that have reached out to me, that's usually the package that they get. But some of the bigger brands, they usually will ask for 4 to 7 bundles. So that comes out to 21 different videos, actually, which they have a chance to chop up and run their different ads to see what works best for them. It's up to them. I sign off the release for that form. And I also make sure that if they're using it for a certain amount of days, that I get paid for those certain amount of days. This is a common mistake that a lot of UGC creators make is they'll make one video and they'll get paid maybe $50 to maybe $150 if they're lucky on it. And then that brand will use their video for a year and run ads on it. And the poor creator is left without getting any sort of perks from that. That's a common mistake I see among UGC creators that I hope that podcasts like yours and other information that they can become more aware of the fact that they do need to charge more if a brand is going to be using their ad for more than 30 days. I am in a few different UGC communities out there on Twitter and on Facebook and even on Instagram. And when I see people talking about their UGC brands and they ask questions, I try to let them know, hey, you should pitch a little higher because of this. It's not an organic content. You're giving them an ad to run and you're releasing your rights to that. So that is something that I include in my budget if they're going to be using it as an ad, or if it's just organic content, then that's fine too.
You're totally right about that. So many creators undervalue themselves. They don't understand the contracts and the usage rights, and they're really giving these businesses a lot and they're not getting compensated in the right way. So I really appreciate you sharing all of that kind of back end to what you're doing. Want to just say this again for people is you're not just creating one UGC video. You're creating 3 different hooks, a body, 3 different endings so the brand can mix and match. I think that's so smart. I think a lot of people are hesitant to ask for things in contracts because UGC is a kind of very young kind of space and a lot of people are inexperienced and they're probably happy and excited to make $150 off of a 15-second video. And they don't realize how valuable that can actually be to a brand. Just so many amazing tips there. Would you mind sharing any other tips or any common things that you found at the beginning that you weren't doing right or that you see other people doing that you would advise differently?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of my background, like I said, I have a master's degree in education. Research is my thing before I do anything period. So it was just natural for me to understand my audience and what it is that I was writing about instead of just trying to pull things from thin air. Because of my educational background, that helped me as a UGC creator. So I got lucky on that. But a lot of UGC creators that are out there today, they don't realize that to create a good UGC video, whether an ad or organic, they need to make an effort to do the market research. Sometimes it takes me anywhere from 4 to up to 12 hours of doing research before I even start writing. I see a lot of UGC creators, they're like, oh, I just have to look around for 30 minutes at the brand and what people are saying, and that's enough. Like, that's not enough. If you want a brand to continually come back to you for more UGC videos, you've got to do your research so you can nail it the first time so that they come back for more. If not, brands aren't going to want to work with you. And really, when brands are looking for UGC creation, most of the time it's because they want to test and split test, do A/B split testing for their ads and creating different copies with different headlines, with different images for different ad sets. That's what they're looking for. They don't really want one video. But if you only give them one video and that video is not top notch, very sucky, so to speak, they're not going to come back to you for more. Like, you need to give them a reason to come back for more. Most of the times, especially smaller brands that do maybe under $500,000 in business revenue yearly, they're looking for that one chance. They give you one chance and that's it. If you nail it, they'll come back for more. If you don't nail it and it doesn't do well as far as ad or organic content, they're not going to come back for you. And believe me, they share with each other too, because I've also have gotten deals with brands that are friends with like other brands too. They have their own brand network of UGC people that they like to use as well too. So that is like a big piece of advice that I see missing from a lot of UGC creators, is they think they can just get in front of the camera and start creating content out of thin air. No, it takes a lot of work and a lot of preparation before they actually get in front of that camera and present what it is they have to present. Talking in the right tone and talking to the right audience, seeing the perfect background for that particular hook. Because if you don't have your hook on the first 1 to 2 seconds, you're gone. You lost your audience. That's why it's just so crucial, that first 1 to 2 seconds, and taking the time to get the research done so you understand who you're talking to, so you can say the right thing to engage them throughout the video and get them to watch to the end. And you need to understand your audience in order to be able to know what it is you need to say or do to get them to watch to the end, because it's all about watch time, really, what it comes down to. For me, that's a really important thing that I do, is make sure I just really understand the brand, the tone, the audience, their demographics, what they like, what they don't like, what they said about other brands that are similar to the product that I'm trying to promote or the brand I'm trying to promote, understanding their pain points, understanding the negative and positive things that they feel about this niche or another brand within that niche, so that ultimately in the end, you're trying to either help the client get leads or help your client to get sales. Leads or sales usually is a thing that they're running ads for, or even organic content, brand awareness. Understanding your goal before you even create that ad, understanding what the brand needs from you, generating leads, brand awareness, or sales, and understanding that particular niche. And surprisingly, I thought that a lot of UGC creators would actually use spyware tools to understand how ads or organic content are doing so that they could figure it out, what's the trend at the moment that's working. But when I talk to a lot of other UGC creators and communities, I'm finding they're like, what's a spyware tool? You know, I understand because I have a digital marketing background as an affiliate marketer, so I understand that part of marketing, whereas a lot of UGC creators, they're not marketers, they're creators. There's a big difference between creators and marketers. And so I think where a lot of people fail in UGC is the fact that they don't understand the basics of marketing 101. And with that comes things like looking at the spy tools to help with your content creation. That's one thing that lacks. And that's one thing I would advise other creators to do, is start using those spyware tools to help you with your content creation in whatever niche it is. I have a library that I build. And when I see a good ad, I like to put it in my library. So whatever niche it's categorized in, I can go back and reference it whenever another brand in that niche comes along. I can be like, okay, yeah, this worked. So get inspiration from that.
You are in the top 1, maybe 0.01% of UGC creators out there, because you're really treating it like a business. It's a study. You're using so many more tools. Like you said, like, I think that everybody uses this. Nobody is doing this. So that's why I'm so excited to talk to you, because you're actually doing it at a really high level, putting a lot of thought into it and giving people a lot of amazing tips here. Do you show your face in your UGC videos, or are you doing these kind of faceless with the voiceover? And what do you think about that? Should people be showing their face in their videos? How do you go about that?
That's a great question. So there's two parts to that answer. The first one is, personally, I feel that you should show your face and you should be able to talk with confidence like we are right now in front of the screen with your audience, because ultimately people want to connect. That's why they're on social media. And it's hard to connect when there's no face and somebody talking with you, or you just hear a voiceover. To me, I find that those do the worst in UGC ads and organic content. But there are brands that they know what they want and they don't want your face. They just want your voiceover with their product. As much as you can advise them that, hey, this doesn't really work for this niche, you should, in my experience, this is what worked well with ads. All you can do is advise them and give the brands what they want. And then they'll just come back to you with more business and be like, hey, you were right. Can you do some more for me? So you got to go what the brand wants. You can advise them. And if you're an experienced creator like myself, you'll know if it's going to work or not, whether you're doing one-on-one like this or voiceovers. When I see creators that do voiceovers and you don't see a face, you only see a product, I just feel so disconnected. Who is this person using it? Like, why aren't they showing their face? Is it for a product for a young girl between 18 to 24? But you hear this older female's voice. You're like, why is this an older voice selling a younger product? Like, why is it not a younger person? So it's important for the audience to engage with the content and really be able to watch the person on screen talking. Most of the UGC creators that do voiceovers, I've learned this through the UGC communities and Discord communities I'm a part of, is because they're not confident speaking in front of the camera like this. It takes them like 2 hours to do one 15-second video. And I get that. But I always try to encourage UGC creators. That's how you start off. That's how you get better at your craft, is just going in front of the camera and just talking. Even if it's going to take you 2-3 hours to film a 15-second, 10-second reel, like, you got to do it. The more you do it, the better you get and the faster you get at it too, along with the editing, because I do all the editing as well too for my UGC content. And so you just get faster with it. I can batch out maybe about 17 videos in an hour span, because that's how much practice I've had with it, versus a newbie, it takes them like 2 or 3 hours to try to do just one. My advice to new people in this space is to just get in front of the camera, just practice. You don't have to be making a video for a brand, just make videos for yourself so you can get confident with speaking in front of the camera.
I think that's awesome advice. When you first start anything, you're going to be bad. You're not going to do very good at it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
The first time you pick up a basketball, you're not going to be sinking threes, but people have that expectation for themselves in videos. So I like that idea of creating videos just for yourself. You don't have to post them, but just get through the process of creating yourself and you'll get better over time. I think that's amazing advice. And you talked about your advice for the new UGC creators. Any more advice for people who they're doing it, they're struggling and they want to make it work, but they can't figure it out? What do you say to them?
I would definitely say to join creator communities that are out there. There's some great ones like yourself. Join Alex's community over here. He's got a YouTube channel. Go and check that out. There are also other creator communities on Discord. There's a few people out there selling courses on how to become a good creator, but you don't have to buy a course to become a good creator. You just have to practice. Period. You just have to practice. That's what it comes down to. And with all the tools that are changing on like TikTok editing tools and with CapCut and even IG Reels, it's good to play around with those tools and try those tools out, because then the more you try them out, the faster you'll get with your editing skills. Because UGC creators, they don't just do the copy and film the videos, but most of the times you're also doing the editing as well. It's very rare that a brand will ask you not to give them a finished product without any edit. One thing that is very important, another tip for new creators, is that when you do edit these videos, you need to ask the brand, what platform are these videos going on? Because if you edit your videos in TikTok and you put them on IG, they're not going to get as many views, because the algorithm by now recognizes what kind of captions belong on IG and what don't. And so if you put TikTok captions or emojis or whatever graphics on an IG reel, it's not going to get a lot of plays. So sometimes you do have to just record it raw on your phone and then do the edits for IG, do the edits for Facebook and whatever other platform. So that way your content will get pushed out for the brands. When I create my content, I do it off of my phone. I don't create it like in TikTok or in Instagram. Before I used to. In the beginning, I used to, but that was only because TikTok was the only place where they were doing it. But now that they're placing it all over social media, I do it on my phone first and then I edit from there and whatever platform it is the brand's going to use for the ads or organic content.
That's really good advice too. Finding out where's the brand going to actually use that piece of content so you can tailor it to that specific platform. Didn't think about that, but it makes so much sense. And then as far as for a new UGC creator, you touched on 3 things: joining a community. Absolutely. Thanks for mentioning mine. But yeah, there's a lot of different communities, maybe taking a course or learning from somebody who's doing it like yourself and practicing. All 3 of those things, I think, is exactly the 3 things that people need to do as a UGC or as a new UGC creator. Awesome advice. Want to get you back to your day job, and any final words for people? I really appreciate you having on. You shared so many amazing things. I might have to have you on again because there's a lot of information here, but any last words for people?
Love to come back on for sure. My last piece of advice to any UGC creator out there is do not give up. If this is something that you're passionate about, that you really want to pursue, don't give up. You're going to get 1,000 no's before you get your first yes. Even when I started, as experienced as I felt in the marketing community, I got many no's. I don't even know how much no's I got. I can't tell you at this point. That's just how it is when you begin and you have a very small portfolio and you only have videos of yourself. And even when you create your portfolio and you give it to a brand, I'll use Canva, by the way. It's free to make your portfolio. Make videos of things, that products that you have around your house that you like, and just get it in front of the camera and start talking about them and just tell them, hey, I'm a new creator. So here's a portfolio that I created of things just around my house. And you will start landing deals. After your first deal, it gets easier and easier and you just get better at it. So my advice, just don't give up. If this is something you're passionate about, figure it out. There are ways. Join those communities. People will be happy to cheer you on, lift you up, and point you in the right direction. And in a lot of those communities, they also tell the UGC creators like where to look. Like, hey, this brand's looking for 5 UGC creators. Go check them out. And a lot of times you don't have to like download these apps that give out jobs all the time for UGC. You can just join networks in Twitter and even on TikTok and IG, and they'll give you a lot of pointers. A lot of my jobs, surprisingly, that I've been finding are through Twitter, not on TikTok and Instagram. There's another golden nugget for you.
I love that advice to never give up. That's always my advice too. It's just like you have to stick with it. It's not something that you are successful with the first day or the second day. This is something that takes time to build and grow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much for giving all the tips. Like, I'm going to have you back. And I think this is going to be a really great podcast to share with people who are interested in UGC. So thank you so much. And I'll get you back to your day. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Take care. God bless. Aloha from Hawaii, everyone out there. Bye-bye.